a major development in the Middle East. Hamas says the political leader of the organization, the U.S. calls a terror group, has been killed in Tehran. So far, the Israeli military is only saying they do not respond to reports in the foreign media. The White House says it is aware of the reports and is monitoring it. This comes as Israel and Hamas were locked in tense negotiations to free dozens of hostages still held in Gaza by Hamas. Let's go to CNN's Paula Hancock's live in Abu Dhabi. Paula, what more do you know?
Well, Laura, this is a very significant development. Ismail Haniyeh, the political leader of Hamas, killed in Tehran. This, according to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. It's been confirmed as well by a Hamas statement saying that he was killed in a residence in the Iranian capital as he was in town for the inauguration of the new Iranian leader. Now, we know that that inauguration of Iran's new president was on Tuesday. We don't have an exact timing of when this killing took place, but it was the early hours of Wednesday when the news emerged. Now, it is a significant development. We have heard, as you say, that Israel is saying it does not comment on foreign news media reports. Not an unexpected response from the IDF. It is one we have heard before when there have been these reports of high-profile killings in other countries of Hamas or even of Hezbollah leaders. But everyone in the region does believe that Israel is behind this. Israel has made it very...
Guys, there's an Iranian person saying, Armin be mehmanan barnamed begu ke hame mardum Iran khoshhalen. I will translate it, but it's a little bit generalization, so I will correct it. So this Omran, who's Iranian, he's saying, in Farsi, he's saying, so Armin, tell your guests on the show that all the people of Iran are happy. Well, I wouldn't say all, but yes, I would say the majority of Iranian people would be happy about this news. Majority for sure. But yeah, not all. But yeah, so this, I just wanted to highlight that so you guys see that there's Iranian guy in the live chat telling you this, that they're happy.
Clear from October 7th, after that Hamas attack in Israel, that all of Hamas leadership was considered a target, that it would be going after the political and the military leadership of Hamas. Now, we know with Ismail Haniyeh that his residence in Gaza City was attacked by an Israeli airstrike just 1 month after those October 7th attacks. We also know that several months ago, a number of his children were killed.
Yes, Susanna was saying, God, this is embarrassing. This is absolutely embarrassing. And let me actually tell you, because I follow a lot of pro-regime Iranian accounts. I know they're a minority, but a minority is still a big number, right? So if we look at Iran, like it has 85 million in population, I would say less than 10% of Iranians are pro-regime. I would say like maybe under even 8%. But even like, let's say 10% just to be conservative, right? That is like 9 million people, right? So that's a lot of people. They're a small minority in percentage wise, but a big in number, right? So I follow a lot of their accounts, and they are turning on each other because not turning on each other. They're turning against each other because ever since Qasem Soleimani was killed by Trump, at first they all decided to be united and say that we will have a huge revenge against America. And then ever since Israel started talking, other key Iranian officials, both from IRGC and the nuclear scientists and all the other people, it kept on getting more and more and more and more. And some of these people are like, where's our hard revenge? Like, you keep promising a hard revenge, but every time you do something, the enemy doesn't actually give there's no significant cost to the other side. Like, it seems like we're pathetic and weak. Why is it so easy for the enemy to take out our targets, but we haven't? Let me tell you how bad this is, right? So just count the number of key IRGC officials and key leaders of proxies of the Islamic Republic and nuclear scientists of Iran that has been taken out by Israel. There's just too many. There's just so many. But let me tell you, from the other side, so you saw Iran like sent 300 missiles and drones to Iran, most of them not even reaching the borders of Israel. The only person that was injured, unfortunately, was a little Arab child. Nobody in Israel died. But all of these years, ever since Qasem Soleimani being taken by United States and Israel taking a lot of other Iranian officials, Iran hasn't even killed. Listen to this. Pay attention. Not only have they not killed a leader in Israel, like a main military official, but not even a single soldier. Not even a single soldier. Like, forget leader, forget general, forget like an officer. Not even a single soldier of Israel has been killed directly by the Islamic Republic. So this is absolutely embarrassing. Like, look how they're coming for your main guys. Like, even Hezbollah, in the past couple of months, the vast majority of the key figures of Hezbollah have been taken out in Lebanon by Israel. And here's another point that a lot of people should understand. It also shows how Israel does care about reducing collateral damage, because in Lebanon and in Iran, when they take out key figures, nobody that like very little people, civilians die. Like, the collateral damage is so small because they're so targeted. Only in Gaza, with the population density second in the world, and an enemy that doesn't wear uniform, and an enemy that uses human shields, you see this high civilian casualty. You can see that in everywhere else that Israel is capable of taking out its enemy without collateral damage, or with minimum collateral damage, they do it. What was that name of the Fakhrizadeh? What was the name of the nuclear scientist? Why am I having a brain fart right now? Susanna, can you help me out here? Or Alfred? Fakhri Nejad? The nuclear scientist that Israel took out. I'm having a brain fart right now. The guy that Musa took out with that. His wife was sitting right next to him, and she wasn't even injured. Right? That's how targeted Israel is. That's how. Fakhrizadeh, I was right. Thank you so much, Pedro. Fakhrizadeh. That's how targeted it is. That's how his wife was right next to him, and she didn't even get injured, and they took him out. The key nuclear scientist of Iran. Right? So again, yes, Israel does value human life, and Israel goes out of its way try to reduce collateral damage. It's Hamas that tries to make it impossible. But again, this is what I was saying, is that ever since they killed Qasem Soleimani and also Fakhrizadeh and also all these other IRGC high command officers and all of them, a lot of the pro-regime people are getting tired, and they are now turning on the government. They're saying, we're so pathetic, we're so weak. Why are we letting the enemy do this? This is embarrassing. I saw a mullah crying, like shouting on his YouTube channel. Like, they say, like, our international standing has been destroyed. This is embarrassing. We tell everybody that the Iranian government is strong, but look at what they're doing. We have no way of defending ourselves. What are we doing? How are we letting this happening? And now the reason why they're turning on each other is because many of them, like half of them, are turning on their own government. They're saying, like, why are we with this weak? But they're also civilian hardliners that are pro-regime that are turning on each other, and they're saying, shut up. When you say these things, they make the enemy, meaning us, happy. Like, you're crying about it, you're complaining about it, you're turning on the government. You're making the enemy happy. You are making us even weaker by demonstrating how embarrassing this is. So they're trying to shut them up to not complain about this, but then the other side is responding like, no, you shut up, you told us to be quiet so that this doesn't embarrass us, but we can't be quiet anymore because you guys are not responding, you guys are not protecting us. Also, here's another important key point that you need to understand, and this is hard to explain, but I need you to understand it very carefully. Okay, the Iranian government has two set of propaganda to advertise itself to the Iranian people. Through that 10% or 8% I mentioned, they use Shia Islam. They're like, this is an Islamic Republic. This is the government of the Imam Mahdi, Imam Zaman, the 12th Imam. This is the government that is supposed to make the army for the return of the Mahdi. When he comes, he will have a country, he will have a land, he will have a standing army. This is why we are supporting this regime, because this is the government of the Mahdi. That is for that insane lunatic, 8% that believe all this nonsense. That's the propaganda, the Shia, the religious nonsense. That's the propaganda to them, right? And that is an important 8%. That's why being anti-Islamic and advertising it against Islam is very effective in Iran, because that 8% is the last pillar that the Islamic Republic is standing on. So anti-Islamic, content in Iran will take that 8% from them. And the whole regime will fall if that 8% turns to 6%, and then 5%, and 4% in the next generation. But to that other more than 90% of Iranians who this doesn't work on them, and that includes both non-religious Iranians and as Muslim, more secular-minded Iranian Muslims, that none of this works on them. So to them, you have to justify the government, because remember, dictators still need people's support to stand. Even dictators need that. So to that, the propaganda to them, because they are tired of this. They're living in poverty. They don't have any stability, and they're living under a lot of hardship. So they are angry with the government. So what does the government say to them? They say, look, we live in the Middle East. This is a very harsh environment. The times are tough. You are having not normal lives. You're living in poverty and stuff. But remember, at least this government, the Islamic Republic, is the only regime that could bring you security in this tough region, in this violent region. If you look at our neighbors, like if you look at Afghanistan and Iraq and Lebanon, you could see that there's war there, but not in Iran. So the reason why you have to tolerate this hardship is because this is a tough region, but at least this is the line that they use. At least we bring you security. And this is I know it might not seem a very big deal to you guys, but that's a very important line that the Islamic Republic regime uses to win over the non-religious Iranian people, the not very extremely religious Iranian people, to the side. And this assassination of Ismail Haniyeh targets that narrative and the other officials, because Iranian people respond, you can't even secure your own people. So this is nonsense. You have no security. You don't have the power. Like, you don't care about the Iranian people, but even if you did, you can't even secure yourself. Like, you are not as powerful as you're making it seem to be. You are weak. You're pathetic. So if the Islamic Republic seems pathetic, Iranian people care about strength. They are nationalists. You have religious, views on one side, and on the other side you have nationalist views. And if you have a government that is pathetically weak, it's a source of embarrassment, and it targets the Iranian sense of national power. And if you don't have that, if you can't show strength, that entire propaganda will break apart. This is why this is much more than Ismail Haniyeh. By killing him in Tehran, I'm so happy that you killed him in the heart in Tehran, in the most secure place in Tehran. This is why killing him in Tehran, it's a much bigger message than just taking a Hamas leader. This is an insult and embarrassment to the Islamic Republic, and it makes the people in Iran who want to say that our government is pathetic and weak and doesn't bring us security, it makes that narrative a lot stronger. It embarrasses the Islamic Republic's standing in the whole world. So it targets both the method in which it was taken out. It was masterful. It makes Israel look strong, and Israel needs to look strong. After October 7th, the narrative was that Israel is weak. People are not saying Israel is weak anymore. So the way that they take him out makes Israel look very strong, especially what they did, the recent attack that they did to the S-300 of the defense. So what they did next to Natanz. So this is there are a couple of other operations that Israel did in Iran that makes Israel look very strong. This on top of that is very good for Israel's reputation and its deterrence capability and its standing. It makes the Iranian government look weak. It shows to the Israeli people that yes, we dropped our guard on October 7th, but we will get them. We will hunt down the people that harmed you, and we will take them out. This is our commitment to you. So both the message to the Israeli people, both the message and the message to the world that Israel is strong. Israel, don't come for Israel because we will come for you. And the message to the Iranian people that your government, if you're supporting your government because you think your government is strong, well, you're not. Stop. The non-religious minded people who support the government because they think the government is strong, that doesn't work anymore. And it also shows to the Iranian regime that we could come for you, that we're closer to you than your jugular vein. They use a Quran verse to threaten the Iranian government themselves, that we're closer to you than your jugular vein. So this is so beautiful. In so many ways, this was a masterful operation, and the message is so much more than just taking out Ismail Haniyeh. It's just killing so many different birds with one stone. But let's continue.
In Gaza as well. So his family has also been considered a target. Now, Ismail Haniyeh himself has been out of Gaza for some years now. He has been living largely in Doha, Qatar. He has been free to travel around the region. We know he has been to Tehran a number of times. He has been to Turkey. And so the fact that this has happened in the heart of Iran is very significant. The fact that that the assassination was able to take place, that the intelligence was able to be gathered in Tehran itself is certainly something that is going to send a chill through the Hamas organization. Now, it is not the first time that the leadership has been targeted. We know that that the military number 2 in Gaza, Mohammed Deif, Israel believes they killed him just recently. Also, back in January, Saleh al-Aruri, who was really considered a deputy political leader of Hamas, was also assassinated in Beirut. So this is not the first time that this has happened, but certainly the fact that it is the political leader of Hamas is a significant target. He has been very vocal. He has been very visible over recent months, not least when it comes to negotiations for a potential hostage deal to release Israeli hostages from Gaza and a ceasefire deal, which those discussions were ongoing. One can only imagine that this could well stall those, at least in the short term. Laura?
Paula Hancock, please stand by. We have CNN political analyst and foreign policy analyst Barak Ravid on the phone.
So let me actually show you the apartment that he was. He was staying in that unit, so you can see they took him out, and the building, even the whole building was intact. People were pointing out that it was so targeted that even the electricity of the above, structure didn't go out.